All right, guys. So, welcome back to another episode of the Forge Your Life podcast with your host, Richard Fu from The Ultimate Man and richardfu.com. And today, guys, I have a special guest, right? He is the world's number one bucket list expert. He's what he calls, and the world calls, the bucket listologist, who's responsible for creating the bucket list life philosophy, blending positive psychology with the bucket list phenomenon. He helps people all over the world really do more than just exist. He helps them really live an enriched life. And it's my absolute pleasure to bring this man on, Travis Bell. Trav, good to have you on, brother.
G'day, Richard. How are you going? Glad to be on.
Doing great, man. Doing great, man. Now that I got you on, man. And so, Trav, for the people who have been living under that rock, who haven't heard about you and your amazing brand, could you give us a bit more details about that and just really your journey to actually becoming who you are today, man? I'd love to know more.
Yeah, that's easy. They thanks for the introduction. They call me the bucket list guy, and someone actually did call me the bucket list guy after my first ever public presentation. I'll bit of a backstory there. Growing up in Ocean Grove down here in Victoria in Australia, grew up here as a jock, and I had no other career path than being I went to uni, did phys ed, and then that led into doing personal training. I started with I was one of the first personal trainers running around Melbourne here, and started with one client, built it up to a franchise chain of 21 personal training studios, grew it into a bit of a monster. I was a franchisor.
Yeah.
And did personal training in that industry for 20 years, and then went through some depression, to be honest, and found myself I love the end product of personal training, but the business model just wasn't working for me. I became really disenchanted with the whole thing, and from there I found myself in personal development courses, in life coaching courses to quote unquote help other people. But who was I helping?
I love the honesty, bro.
Yeah. Oh, that's all you get from me. And I decided to take all that information. I closed down. It was a pretty sad time in my life, and I closed down all the personal training studios and really dropped everything that I was working on for the last 20 years, and went, no, I've got to go to a happier place, which is really what I talk about now is happiness. And so I've got this tattoo on my arm. It says, there we go. If you can see that, if it is to be, it is up to me. So I'm like, reading that every day. There it is there.
Yeah.
If it is to be, it's up to me. One of the oldest personal development quotes on earth. And I'm like, no, I've got to get to a happier place. So I put all this information into a talk. And it was all the personal development, all the motivation, all the life coaching stuff. And then at the end of it, 3/4 of the way through it, I was telling everyone about everything that I've done in my life, and the fact that I've had this list to do before I died since I was 18. Wherever I went around at university or shared housing, I had my little blue folder with my list to do before I died, all the stuff I want to do. And I said, who else has got one of these lists? And I was like, no one. And I said, well, what do you want to do before you die? Oh, no one's really asked us that question. And so, the room became alive. And then at the end of it, someone called me, said, hey, there's all this list to do before you die stuff. It's like a bucket list. You're like the bucket list guy. And I went, bing. And I went home and registered the domain, thebucketlistguy.com.
Yeah.
And as a result, things just caught fire. And I was on Google and thinking, all right, who's like the Mac Daddy? Who's like the king of bucket lists in the world? And look, no one. So I called myself the world's number one bucket list expert. And it's stuck. Hey, guys out there that are watching, you got to claim your space, don't you? So, I know what you're all thinking. Oh my God, he's on this call. He's the world's number one. Nah, I called myself that for whatever purpose, but it's really helped. And now I have the absolute honor and a privilege to really blend, be authentic, to blend who I really am, and I show up. Whether I'm talking to a group of 1,000 people at a keynote address, talking to people in places like India, South Africa later on this year, to wherever, to school kids about leadership, about taking control of their life, whatever it is, or a non-for-profit, a group of entrepreneurs, whatever. At the end of the day, it's about helping people live their bucket list before it's too late and live a regret-free life, because ultimately I want people to be happier.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. So I get to tick my stuff off my bucket list while I'm helping other people to do the same.
Oh man, beautiful story, brother. And I love it. And I love the real heart-centered, like the honesty that you go through. And this is what's interested me, man, when you were just sharing, is that you realized that you weren't happy and you had to go find a way to make yourself happy. Is that where you pulled out that bucket list that you wrote when you were 18 and you just like, did you have that fear of like, I don't even know what makes me happy? I don't even know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I like to, I've got a blueprint, as it were, for helping people discover what makes them happy.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a 12-step process that helps people create a personally meaningful and holistic bucket list. And when you go through that question and answer process, it helps you extract and then articulate all the things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. So, a bucket list isn't about just ticking cool stuff off. It's also about the person you become on the journey to achieving everything on your bucket list. But more importantly, it's about the person that exists on the other side. And that's our potential. And when we see our potential, that's what makes us happy, puts a smile on our face. So that's what I want to, help people wake up, get off the treadmill of life, say, not have Monday-itis, not have hump days, not say, thank God it's Friday anymore, and get up and live life on purpose. And for me, it's that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And that's the stuff that really floats my boat. I've just got on with stuff really quick. And when you're really clear, and for everyone, I want everyone who's listening and watching this is get really clear on what their why is. What's their meaningful end step that they're really aiming towards. And it's a little bit of a non-traditional goal setting this, but at the end of the day, their why. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people have got to. They're away from motivated rather than toward motivated, and success is. You'll hit your goals a hell of a lot faster if you're toward motivated than away from motivated. So a lot of people get started on the journey to achieving goals by being away from motivated. That is, getting away from pain.
Yes.
Okay. But the old personal trainer in me will say, okay, I realize you've come into this personal training arrangement because you don't want to be fat anymore.
Yep.
All right. Or you want to, or you don't want to die alone. These are two. Or you've just gone up a flight of stairs and you've clutched your chest and you've gone, oh, hang on, that's not good. I mean, these are all away from motivators, right? Same as our bills, same as relationships, same as everything that we start. Most people, human beings, start things because they're away from motivated. Now, it's really important, especially in the personal training game back in the day, was to go, all right, I understand that you don't want to be fat, but if you keep running that story in that language, I'm doing this, so I'm going to the gym because I don't want to be fat, your whole brain's going to be hearing what? Fat.
Yeah.
So, well, what about that 5K run? Imagine doing that. Imagine you crossing the line at the MCG down here in Melbourne, and you got all your friends in the grandstand, you get the finishers medal for proof, and you've got the T-shirt, and you're up on the big screen. Can you imagine that? This is basic sports psychology. So it's like, yeah, I can. All right, let's aim for that. Imagine that. And suddenly that away from motivation, or that motivation reason, sort of dissolves in the distance, and that becomes a clearer picture. Same goes with the bucket list stuff that we do, mate, is just to help people get more toward motivated than away from motivated. And it's got something like a 75% more success rate by being toward motivated.
Oh, man.
Right? So,
yeah.
It's good to be able to provide that and help people listen, really extract and articulate that really personally meaningful why. That's the thing that's going to drive them to get up out of work every morning and maybe put up with traffic and whatever.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tolerate life, right? They just tolerate it. And I think you glossed over something, Trav, that was so powerful that I want to bring up here, is that, when and this is what a lot of people who do their bucket list probably encounter as a problem, is that they just have stuff that they just want to tick off. It's just to say, I've done it. But you nailed it here when you said you need to think about who you want to be on this after doing that, after completing that, after doing that. Because a lot of people just say, I just want to do this so then I can brag about it to my friends, but that doesn't make you happy, does it? That's like
no. You got to want to really do it, and it's not just about climbing mountains, doing Ironman, Ironmans. It's not about all that sort of stuff. It could be. This is a lot of people. I'm really blown away by. It's the things that light you up. It's not a pissing contest here. It's not mine's bigger than yours. It's honestly just the thing that lights you up, and you'd be bloody amazed. I've done rooms of CEOs, and it's amazing what lights them up, because it's not all about spending a lot of money or going on travel, big trips or anything like that. Some people want to just kind of scratch that itch of curiosity. I wonder what it's like to write a poem. I wonder what, write a book, not for the bragging rights, but just to, maybe scratch that itch of creativity that they've got.
Yeah.
It could be photography, painting. It could be designing something. It could be just building their own house, being a great parent. It could be, all sorts of, learning a language, learning guitar. Whatever it might be. Sure, we've got base camp in there. We've got maybe Ironmans. It could be your first 5K run. But, human beings are human beings. And I mean, I'll give you the example of the first 5K run, but I'm not a runner. Yeah, well, this is about you becoming a different version of you, if you want to become a different version of you. Because I know that human behavior is like this. Once you finish your first 5K run and you're like stoked and you're like, or you become a different person as a result of these ticks, right?
Yeah.
Or these things that you do. It's like, I bet, within a day of finishing that first 5K run, you'll be sniffing around for the next, to the 10K. It's like, all right, well, that wasn't too bad. Maybe a 10K, and then a half marathon, then a marathon, then who knows? But before you know it, the rest of that person's life has changed. Now they're hanging around fit people. Now they're having different conversations. Now they've got a lot more energy. So if they're in business, if they've got more energy, that's going to affect their bank balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot more opportunities come to those people who have got more energy in their life. So and they get laid more, guys. They get laid more. So that 5K run, if we really blow it out and look at the ripple effect of something like a simple decision like that, when you really put it under the microscope, you'll find that it can have a dramatic effect on a lot of areas of their life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you just change one area of your life, it's just going to spread into the other ones. And I love that you bring that up. It's so important, because so many people, and I think when you put things down on the bucket list and you think you're going to go get this, right? You're going to get this feeling, you're going to feel like this afterwards. Actually, you get more than that, isn't it, man? Is that what you found with your own experience and helping other people?
It's incredibly holistic. Yeah. I mean, these ticks on your bucket list. Yeah, you might, especially mums, they have really big issues about being selfish.
Oh,
But yeah, okay. All right. So a bucket list is selfish. All right, cool. But does your kids actually want to see you happy? Mm-hmm. Yes. Does your kids want to see you striving and being adventurous and having fun and really going after your goals? Isn't that what you say to your kids as a parent?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. So go be that. Go be that. Don't just talk about it. Go be that. And kids will pick up on that unconscious, on those unconscious patterns of just following following the leader, following the parent. And if you want a fit kid, well, be fit.
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up, man, that people think it's selfish for you to go work on yourself, right, and go be happy.
No, it's not. But the thing is, what a lot of other people don't realize is someone got stuck into me on social media the other day.
Yeah.
I was on LinkedIn. Oh, bucket list is so selfish. It's all about you just getting the gold Rolex and the Maserati, and it's all about this and all about that. And it's like, all right, well, someone's running some really limited beliefs right there in that view of the world. So thank you for that. I said, mind you, I shut him down pretty quick. And and I don't get into, social media, debates, because it just ends in tears most times. But I said, look, one thing you don't realize is a massive part of why I do what I do is to help people realize, like the 12-step formulas. What are the kind acts for other people that you're doing? What are the kind of legacies that you're leaving when, because this is all part of your bucket list. It isn't about just climbing mountains and doing all this sort of stuff. It's about the things that you're doing for other people. And at the end of the day, that too should make up a big, big chunk of your bucket list. So I encourage people to look outside themselves whilst getting what they want, but also to pay all these messages forward to their kids. So I did a gig the other day up at the Australian Stock Exchange in Sydney there.
Yep.
And, I had the highest ranking people in the room come up to me with tears in their eyes. They're like, I said, what's going on? And they said, look, I'm just, as soon as you leave the room, I'm going to be ringing my family because I want to bring them all together, and we're all going to write bucket lists this weekend, and what I call reverse bucket list. And then I have people do a bucket list board. So, and then before you know it, mate, it's so cool. A few days later, I get pictures of them and their family around the dinner table putting together bucket list boards and writing out bucket lists, and their kids they've created an individual one and a family one. It's like,
oh man, that sounds beautiful, bro. And I love how you brought it in, is that it's not selfish, and that it's about the legacy. It's about the legacy, and it's about, and not just only how you help people, but and this is the thing that I want to bring up here, is that it's not about you just going for yourself, but it may look like that. But if you're being the example for other people, if you are the light that leads other people to say, oh my God, Trav did that. I mean, and Trav is like this normal guy over here. Then how can I not do that? And that is,
who said I was normal?
You're just an Iron Man, right? Iron Man in the making.
No. What is normal? Come on, we're trying to compare. But you're right. Look, it is all about how you're showing up in the world. And I don't know about you, but I love hanging around with people that are glass half full. And I'd like to think our bucket listers that are out there, our community, are half full people. And they're the type of people you want to catch up for a beer or a coffee with. They're the type of people that have already got, always got an adventurous, a fun story to tell. And they're the kind of people that you want to employ. They're the kind of people you want to do, joint ventures with. They're the kind of people that you want to do business with. They're the type of people you want to date. Versus the people that you catch up with where you feel like you need a wash or a holiday after you've caught up with them.
A wash or a holiday. Like, oh, what's new with you? Oh, nothing. Same time, same old.
Yeah, same old shit, different day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How long we got?
Time for my wash, right?
That's it. Awesome. So hopefully people looking at this, man, I'm sure in your community we don't have any of them, but surely they're not looking at, like going, those sort of people, and hopefully they don't look at themselves every morning as those people in the mirror every day.
And a question here, Trav, I was just thinking here, I mean, so if we were to apply the bucket list philosophy, right, bucket list of life philosophy, would you say that people who are listening or who are watching, or the people that you help, that they work on something on their bucket list like almost each day? Would that be something that people should be doing, like focusing on what is it that would make me happy today to just do it, to try, or to...
It's a great question. We've all got 24 hours. Are you busy? Well, here's a distinction. This is what I help people do. Are you busy on your to-do list, or are you busy on your bucket list? We get very, and it's very important to separate the two. And look, our businesses, our jobs, our careers should do two things and two things only. And that is to spit out enough time flow and cash flow for you to do the things that you want to do in life.
Yeah.
Okay. So and double bonus, if what you are doing for a living is actually serving people and helping people at a greater level, and it's hitting your values, which is your internal rule book, and you're contributing to the world, then sweet, that's a double bonus. The point is we want to start paying attention. If I'm going to do anything in this life, is to help people pay attention to the things that make them happy, not to the things that they feel like they have to, or they should do, or they need to. It's because they want to.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I go into groups or I coach or do whatever, it's all about helping people pay attention to the things that make them happy and carve out time in their busy day to research, book, create, think about all the things that they want to do. Because what's the end game? Just like to pay bills and die? What are we doing? So, I help people shift their priorities. I help people work on their, I say a bucket list is a tangible life plan where our business plan or our career plan needs to fit into their life plan, not be the other way around.
Yeah, gotcha. It's just a little piece of it. And so I love that, man. I love that. And so Trav, man, we got to start wrapping up the show because it's been so awesome just listening to you talk about it and share about it, man. And so as we wrap up the show, we're going to go through some quick fire questions here, right? And so the first one is one of our big signature questions is what we call the time travel moment, right? If you could go back, 5, 10 years, any time in your life, and you could tell yourself one thing that you know now about yourself or what you've learned, what would that be, man? And when would that be?
Easy. Oh, look at probably, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Mate, seriously, drop your ego. Listen to your heart. Stop doing things to impress other people and do what makes you happy.
So true.
I've made a lot of business decisions, some good, some not so good, based on ego. I mean, ego is one of the big things that's got me in trouble, and I know it does get. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and made decisions based on me looking good. When you get older, you don't care. You develop. I won't swear on here. You develop the I don't give a muscle pretty solidly, and I wish people would develop it a little bit more. Like, just do the things that truly make you happy. I want you to live a regret-free life. And one of the number one things that people will say on their deathbed is, one of the biggest regrets is, I wish I lived a life true to myself, not what others expected of me.
Exactly.
So dropping the ego. Next question.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And so, man, the next one we have here is obviously, you're always adding to your bucket list. You're always focusing on that. So what's one of the personal habits you have to keep you on point, to keep you focused when you feel like you might not be focusing as much on that bucket list, or what's important to you?
Helps being the bucket list guy where there's a lot of social pressure on you to do weird and wonderful shit.
Yeah. To always be that example, right?
yeah. But, and I get dared to do a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah.
And again, the ego, we can't drop the male ego, mate. Yeah. Hey, Trav, let's, I had a guy go, hey, do you want to learn how to base jump? And I'm like, no. No, but I got a guy, I got a couple of friends that are base jumpers, and I'm like, that's just, the reason why I did the Ironman was I got dared to do it, and one of my good friends said, "Oh, I've entered. I bet you won't do it." I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'll do it." Okay, but yeah, what was the question again? It was
what's one of your personal habits that keeps you focused on the
focus. Yeah. No, just seeing more of myself. I want to see. I'm excited. I'm excited by my own potential, and I like to, every talk that I do. Like, I do a lot of keynote talks around the world, and I love to have fresh stories. As in, last week I went to a live volcano in Vanuatu. Wow. I had, just last year I had lunch with Tim Ferriss at the 4-hour work week, and I've got fresh and, like literally in, what was it? One of the things that I crossed off my bucket list recently, which I'm about to release a blog post on. And that blog is a blog, creates that, people are looking forward to, people in my community are looking forward to the next things. And I've done a heap of stuff. Like, I've crossed off 7 countries since Christmas already. And one of the ones was Cuba. So one of the things that I wanted to do over in Cuba was smoke a Cuban cigar in Cuba. and as an asthmatic, that was just the worst move ever. But look, I look cool.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there having a Cuban rum and having a cigar at the cigar museum. It was just just one of those things. And like I love to keep life fresh and exciting. And I'm not the kind of guy that sits around real well either. So I've got to be putting it out there. One of the things that I've got coming up is doing a stand-up comedy gig, which scares the absolute shit out of me.
You're pretty funny, man. You're pretty funny. I don't know why you're so scared, Trav.
Yeah, but funny, like as in, haha, you're an idiot. I've got to be like, people are going to be like, people are paying good money to make me laugh, funny boy. Let's go. So yeah, I'll be videoing that and putting it up in my blog, and the blog's really cool to keep everything fresh and keep myself accountable to that. But I just love doing weird and wonderful stuff.
Awesome, man. Always being curious and always exploring, right?
Very curious. I'm a very, very curious person.
Oh, epic, man, epic. And so, Trav, the next question I have is, obviously you've read a lot of books. What's one book that you would consider a must read for the people who are watching and listening here?
Without hesitation, Happier by Tal Ben-Shahar. That's the one that changed my life. I've obviously got, the 4-hour work week from a business point of view. I'm what they call a digital nomad. I'm balls deep in that community. I love all the stuff that Branston's put out there. I love The Alchemist, from a journey point of view, of course. And there's I'm looking at my depends what day of the week, you get me. That'll do.
Yeah, awesome, man. We'll add them to the show notes. And
cool.
Just a few more left, Trav, man. So in today's modern world, man, with the modern man, where they're at right now, what do you think they're missing in their world? What do you think the world needs from all the men in today's world? What's the one thing that they need to start doing more of to be the ultimate man and to really just step up to be who they're meant to be?
Wow. What is an ultimate man? What's the definition of an ultimate man?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I'd love to know, what is your definition? Because I think every man has a different definition of it.
Look, I'm going to be, I think there's been a, resurgence in men reclaiming their manhood. Yeah. So I'm going to say man up. And what that means is, don't be afraid. Once a year, just get dropped off in the forest with just your undies on and a knife, and just you got to hunt and kill, and then get yourself back to civilization. I think that'll keep us all on a level, won't it?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Revenant?
Wild style, right?
Oh yeah, Man v Wild. Have you seen The Revenant with
I don't want to look at that bear, man. I won't look at the bear the same way.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, I think one of the things that we need to do as blokes is one, care for each other a lot more. Like I've got a podcast called Bucket List Life, and I just interviewed Graham Cowan. He's one of the founders of the Are You OK movement.
Yeah.
Is Are You OK, which is a depression initiative. One of the things, having been through depression, one of the things that drives me is to help other guys, and help younger people deal with depression, because as you know, there's an overprescription of antidepressants within our world right now, especially in the Western world, and sadly also in teenagers.
Yeah.
And so it's like, whoa, we need to just number one, talk to each other. If you're the ultimate man, talk to your mates.
Yeah.
Right. And drop ego, talk to your mates. Are you okay? How's things going? Look, let's just catch up for a beer and really have a chat. And social media, fake book is fake book. Get on the front foot and connect. Number two, like man up. That's what, if there may be gay or straight people listening to this, but we need to reclaim our manhood, and like that's what's attractive in this world. Like let's not try and fight. Let's not try and fight civilization. We're meant to be men. Act like it. Like it. Don't be a pussy. And Yeah, and I think getting off the grid is important as well.
Getting off disconnecting from the noise.
One of the things that I mentioned earlier was going to Cuba, and we had to get off the grid because internet's illegal over there. That's a whole other story. And so that taught us to get back to not get back to nature. That's another thing that I'd like blokes to do as well. And I'll give you a quick story on that. But get off the grid. One of the things that the Tim Ferrisses and Mark Zuckerbergs and a lot of high-end execs are doing these days is actually going to Alaska or down to Antarctica, where they have to get off the grid and out of their head and get back to nature. And that's what I'd encourage. I went out with my dad not too long ago and his 5 best mates. Dad's mid-70s, and we went on a sea kayaking adventure. Wow. No reception, no nothing, and we camped. And we didn't exactly live off the land, but it was great to get back to that. Reconnect with our dads, reconnect with the other blokes, and we were chopping wood and we're lighting fires and cooking. It was just cool.
Oh man, sounds like an amazing trip, brother. Great advice, man. And just 2 questions left, Trav. Is how would you describe someone who's on their true purpose? Like, if we want to be on true purpose, what would that look like? What would that be like for people to understand?
When you're on your true purpose, are you monetizing it?
Doesn't have to be.
When you're on your true purpose, it's what Mikhail Chesmihai said, when you're in flow. So a great book to read is Flow. Flow is when time stops. Yeah. And you're just in the zone.
Yeah, and that's when you're on purpose. Awesome.
So what are those things? What are those things where you find flow in your life? You might be art, it might be surfing, it might be running, it might be writing, it might be singing, might be guitar, it might be doing this stuff. For me, I've got no fear around public speaking, and I'm my best self when I'm speaking to large groups and coaching one-to-many. I absolutely love it, and time flies when you're having fun.
No, awesome, man. We'll add that book to the notes as well. And the final question here, Trav, is if you only had 30 seconds left to live, man, and you're surrounded by your family, your friends, all the people that you've impacted with the bucket list, what's the last piece of advice you'd give them, man?
Live life with no regrets and hurry the fuck up.
Love it, man. Love it. So, Trav, man, thank you so much, man, for your honesty, your truth, and just you sharing what it means to be really following your bucket list and what that really means. So thank you so much for coming on, brother. It means a lot to me, man.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure.
Awesome. And Trav, for the people who want to learn more about yourself and what you do, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, cool. Easy. www.thebuketListGuy.com. You can link into my world there by just putting I think I've even got that 12-step how to write a bucket list formula for you there. So anyone who wants to grab that, they can. Just put your name and details into the space provided on the website, and we'll connect. And of course, I'm a social media whore, mate. So you can connect to me on all the socials.
Awesome, man. We'll add it to the show notes. And so, guys, this wraps up another episode of the Forge Your Life podcast with Travis Bell. Make sure you share this out. Make sure you bring it up, because we don't want to keep Travis's message a secret anymore in this world. It needs to get out there like everyone else on this show. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Go out there, go live with love, and go smash it. I'll see you on the next one.